Hey, One Piece fans, this is Chris Bolt, and I am coming in with a One Piece episode recap and review for episode 1132, A Fleeting Moment of Happiness, Kumachi and Jenny. And basically the gist of this entire episode is, once again, we're going back and we are getting a good look at the life of Jenny and Kuma 30 years ago. And this happens to take place 8 years after the God Valley incident. Kuma has now become a fully fledged pastor. He's helping out the elderly in the city where he's currently living, the village where he's living. He's helping cure them of their aches and pains. As you can see right here, he pushes out that pain, and that pain goes right there in that red bubble right there. And so and of course, everybody is taking advantage of him. One of the old people actually comes in and says, "Hey, why don't you do this throughout the entire week?" And here's Bartholomew Kuma at age 17. And you already see at age 17, he's a really big guy already. And he became a great pastor like his daddy before him. And so while it seems like they're taking advantage of him, at the same time, they are appreciative of the fact that he does provide this service for them. But of course, here comes Jenny. Jenny says, "Nah, you guys are being very mean. You're taking advantage of him. He's only going to provide this service on Sunday." And here you see that they have an old man saying, "Oh, here comes the mean Jenny." But Jenny's doing something really good here, and this is a service that Kuma is providing and whatnot, and she's actually challenging all these people to not go in there and take advantage of him. Go home. But of course, this is kind of funny right here, because one of the old people here says that Jenny actually has a crush on Kuma. More of that. And of course, Jenny chastises Kuma. "You're being too sweet to them. You're letting them take advantage of you and whatnot." And right here, we get a little prelude about what's going on in this particular kingdom. They have a very evil king that is asking them to go ahead and pay what's called a heavenly tribute, basically a tax, for whatever reason. But he's the king. Just pay the tax or else. And it doesn't matter whether or not you're old or young. You got to pay the tax, otherwise you're going to get put in jail. And of course, here's a picture of the king right there. If we fall ill, we can't pay the heavenly tribute. They're going to get put in prison. And that's one person old man who was put in jail. He actually died, starved to death. So this village has dealt with a lot of evil on behalf of this king, and this king actually happens to be a puppet of the celestial dragons. Here you see that the old people are lamenting. Old people who are poor can't survive. And that kind of hits home right now, because the reason why this video is coming out late is because I had to go and help with my father-in-law. He's weak and frail, and when you're weak and frail, you can't work you can't do as much work as you used to. And so all these people are having a jolly good time at the expense of Jenny. Jenny is kind of a big sister in this particular aspect to Kuma. But as we see here, you see the old folks come here and say, "Please help us," and all like that. But as you can see right here, remember last episode I said that Kuma was, even at 9 years old, Kuma was taking away all of everyone's pain and suffering, and that he was absorbing that into him, and that he was all bandaged up and everything like that. And you see this big giant red bubble. Anybody who remembers going all the way back to the Thriller Bark arc with the famous, probably one of the famous scenes in all of anime, where Zoro takes on all the pain of his Straw Hat crew, takes on that pain, and Sanji runs up and asks him, "What happened here?" And Zoro stoically just responds, "Nothing happened here." Just paraphrasing exactly what he said. He probably didn't say exactly like that, but we get the gist. Well, here we see Bartholomew Kuma standing in front of this big giant balloon, and he is getting ready to take on all that pain. And you see right here, we'll just go ahead and let this play out right here. He takes it in, and he doesn't complain about it, and you see the intense pressure and pain he has to go through in order to suck up all that pain, because otherwise, if he doesn't do it, it has to go somewhere, and if he doesn't internalize it within him, it would go back to the people. And you saw right there Jenny just sitting there with her head bent down because she knows the intense pain that he goes through in order to do what he's doing. And that's why she was so protective of him in the beginning, because she knows the truth about his devil fruit, and it's a curse upon. And this is the literal definition of a devil fruit, the pawpaw fruit. While yes, you can go ahead and push out people's pain, if no one is there to take that pain, it has to go back to the original recipient. And Kuma, having a big heart that he has, would not allow that pain to go back to those people, so he was internalizing it. That's the very definition of a devil fruit, if you ask me. So that right there, and she wonders why he does all this, but Kuma has a big heart. This is the one thing about a lot of men who are big, who are strong, who are of massive size, even fighters men who train to fight. They happen to be some of the most gentle people you will ever be around. And obviously they can be gentle like that because they know that they can take on that pain and they can dish it out if they need to. And most men, if you get to know them, are really like that. They don't walk around loudly or boisterous, and they're always ready and willing to help. And that describes Kuma to a T. And he's only 17 right here. He's already got that massive body. He had that massive body at 9 years. Been doing this for 8 years. So he's actually come to become a master of this particular power. And so they're getting ready to go down and eat. And of course, this is Jenny. Jenny loves to eat. Jenny is she loves to eat. That gets passed on to her daughter, Jewelry Bonnie. Now, right here, 25 years ago, we're going a few more years into the future. And right here, Jenny really pours her heart out to Kuma and asks him to marry her. But Kuma realizes that, hey, if we do this, that if I marry you, you're going to have to deal with all the pain and suffering that I had to do. When you see that he says no, but then he has that flashback. He sees his father, what he had to go through when he was married to his mother, and then his father sitting there right there telling him that his mother died. And so he tries to change the subject and gets it off that, but Jenny, being a woman, she ain't gonna let it go or anything like that. So fast forward, these are the boys that were bullying him when they were younger. They grew up and they're all real good friends now. And she throws that bucket at his head, calls him a bakadayo, a fool. And we go ahead and keep fast forwarding even further, and we see that the soldiers under the king have started taking the old people and are going to turn them into slaves and do whatever they want. And Kuma's not going to stand for that. Kuma, being the big man he is, he actually sits there and he fights them. And this is where we get a demonstration of his pawpaw fruit being used as a projectile. So there you go. He says, Yamero, stop. He pushes the pawpaw fruit right there, and he's using it as a weapon. And so you see he's doing it rapidly right there. But of course, the king still doesn't worry. He says don't worry about them. They're gonna be brought to their knees. The amount of the heavenly tribute to be paid to the government is determined by the number of citizens. So basically what he's going to do some tax evasion right here. So, hey, he's going to do a demarcation right here and just say, hey, anybody that's below that line, we don't count them as citizens. We don't count them as slaves, and you can do whatever you want, and everybody above it. Basically trying to cut his taxes in half. And you know, on a base level, it makes sense because taxation is theft, especially income taxation. But at the same time, you can't sit there and do this and try to negate people in their lives so that you can try to escape trying to pay your bill to the government. And of course, that doesn't sit well with Kuma or his friends or Jenny, and they all just decided to go ahead and join up with him in his fight against this government. And it says Kuma says right here to Jenny, this country is turning into a place where the poor suffer harsh discrimination, and he doesn't like that. And this policy was put in his head from above is what this guy is saying. It was put above by the celestial dragons. I mean, this entire period is giving people more and more reason why they hate those damn celestial dragons. And of course, here we have a liberator in the form of Monkey D. Dragon and Ivankov. They're coming in here. They took the king. They dethroned him. He says, "I won't let you escape, you stupid celestial dragon wannabe." There's Ivankov right there, and there's Monkey D. Dragon. So they liberated it, and Ivankov and Monkey D. Dragon meet up with Kuma. And of course, he and Kuma and Jenny are both going to join the Revolutionary Army. And right when we get towards the end, I saw a lot of flashbacks and everything. He leaves the city, he comes back and visit. But right here, this is where it ends on a cliffhanger, at least for Jenny. Someone comes up and gets ready to kidnap her. She's really excited to meet back up with Captain Kuma, because they're really good friends. She really loves him, and we all know that Kuma really loves her too. But she gets snatched up by a mysterious individual, and that just drives Kuma up a wall, because he wasn't there to protect her. He wasn't there to protect his love. And what man would not do anything to go and save the woman he loves from a harsh fate? He doesn't want to go through that again, especially after he lost his mother. His father couldn't protect his mother. And that's where the episode ends. And so we're going to go ahead and fast forward to the end of this. And we're going to see the next episode that's coming through. Kuma has just gone wild. He takes to the battlefield to start battling the celestial dragons. He's getting up there to get ready to try to rescue his love, Jenny. But when he sees her again, he sees something that he doesn't want to see. Plus, we see right there Jewelry Bonnie as a newborn baby. Next episode 1133, A Pledge to Jenny. Kuma becomes a father. So, and of course that should have been his child if only he had the courage to tell her, yes, let's be married. But of course, if he did that, we wouldn't have this story right here or anything like that. But that's it. Overall, this story definitely helps flesh out the character of Kuma even more. It wasn't that much action or anything like that, but at the same time, it doesn't need to be that much action or anything. Not a lot of tearing up like I did last time, because 9-year-old Kuma is very much different from 17-year-old Kuma. He did have to master that power over that time to take in that pain. But we also got a demonstration of when he started using that power as a tool, as a weapon for protection. Unfortunately, his father didn't have that same power, but now Kuma definitely does, and he definitely will not let anyone take advantage of any of the citizenry that's under him. I'll give this episode, let's give it an 8.5 out of 10. Like I said, it advances the story. It's a really good episode. It really fleshes out the character, and it really sets up pretty much what's probably going to be the final chapter for Kuma's life. At least back when he was younger. We're now, because I think right here, he's probably about 33, maybe 34. And I think Jenny was 37 around this time. And so this is going to be leading up to the next episode where he finally meets baby Jewelry Bonnie for the first time. But those are my thoughts on the episode. You guys jump down in the comments and let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Was this a really good episode for you? Or were you expecting a little more or anything like that? Jump it down in the comments and let's go ahead and have a discussion on that. And remember to like, share, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. All that good stuff helps me out. And if you watch this video all the way to the end, I really do appreciate that support. All that stuff really helps me out. And remember, this is Chris Bolts signing off, and I will catch you guys in the next video. You take it easy.